I don't know if anyone else gets this feeling, but it feels like a lot of people are depressed or just feeling down this entire year in general. Now, I don't know if that's just the limited amount of people I'm basing this assumption on, but that's just what it feels like lately. Now, the obvious reason would be because of COVID 1984, but I don't think that's the entire reason. I mean, normally when there's some sort of event that takes place that affects the world, there's like a 9 to 12 month period in which depression, anxiety, and suicide skyrocket. Negativity sprinkled by some fear-mongering from the news and government along with some dirty politics usually keeps society at a low energy state for a while. And this is normally how it went down, but this time it feels a bit different. And I would say a lot of young people ages 18 to 24 seem to be feeling it the most. There kinda seems to be this negative wave of energy that's affecting a lot of people. It's making people depressed, tired, anxious, stressed, no energy, hopeless. Kinda like this dark cloud over you that you just can't seem to shake no matter what. And I mean, I guess that's kinda what depression is, just kinda follows you around. And if you ask me, honestly, I'd attribute this negative depressive wave of energy to increased social media use, technology in general. This of course naturally turns you to news and politics and current events and pop culture and all that shit. And there's also changes in social lives, realizing things aren't the same, uncertainty in the future, careers, keeping up your image, climbing the social ladder, keeping up with your peers, not knowing your place in the world. And ultimately a money-obsessed generation. It's a culmination of the time we're living in this stage of society. I mean, during the quote-unquote pandemic, a lot of people, mostly young people, all lived online through these advanced developing screens and technology. By the way, have you guys seen the whole metaverse thing? I mean, what in the lizard person matrix is going on? Bro, I really wonder how the world is gonna look in 25, 30, 40 years from now. It's like since the 21st century began, technology has just been skyrocketing. I mean, I know they always have advanced technology in hiding, but jeez. Anyways, yeah, everyone lived on the internet, and that was the primary way of quote-unquote staying communicated and in touch while safely behind your screens. And I imagine it's much harder to want to get back into the real world, especially if you're a kid that knew nothing but smartphones and technology. Imagine being in a world where you can be what you want to be, control the perception of yourself, how people see you, and even interact through these avatars, which is that metaverse thing, seems like. You don't gotta deal with quote-unquote real life shit that makes most people depressed. I don't really relate to the feelings, but I get it. Cause for me, I try to keep things simple, just kind of focus on things within my control and my scope. And as for pressures and things of that nature, honestly, I couldn't care less what anyone else thinks. And I know it sounds like such an edgy thing to say, but life's too short. And to be honest, for a lot of people I know who talk about why they're depressed, it always has to do with expectations and pressures and social media and their peers and other people and things of this nature. And I mean, I get it, but I just can't relate, cause one, I'm not on social media, so I can't relate to that. And two, having perspective helps you navigate life with such a clearer lens. Cause think about what's really gonna matter when it comes down to it. Does anyone actually care? And does it matter what they think? Like honestly. It doesn't, and those people probably aren't even important in your life. And to be honest, some people really need to get off social media sometimes, like for real. That shit is so damaging, especially to young people. 95% of what you see on the internet isn't real. And I don't know if that's exactly breaking news, but the effect it's having on depression levels specifically for the younger crowd is pretty crazy. In my opinion, parents who give their kids a smartphone in elementary school and allow social media use at that young age, honestly should be ashamed of themselves. Being born in a different generation isn't an excuse to not know better, because those things will persist through the next generation and the generation after that. I mean, social media ruins perspective pretty much in every sense. You just gotta think, on your deathbed, are you gonna be thinking about other people's opinions or what you did in your life? Life goes by quick, man, and I'm sure a lot of people felt that this year, and it's gonna keep getting faster. Because the older you get, your perspective on time changes. You're no longer a kid bored waiting for the next fun thing to happen. You start to value every hour and every minute. But hey, I mean, if you're a kid, go have as much fun as possible. You're only a kid once. But I don't think any kid is watching this. The world and society is constantly moving, and it's such a weird place right now. Most people don't want to get left behind. A lot of people don't know their place, got daily struggles and pressures and social status and acceptance and money and friends and careers and mental and physical health, bullshit politics, social media, all that stuff. Sometimes you do kind of just want to throw in the towel, and that's completely fine. We all got those days. I personally like to think of the term regression to the mean when it comes to life. Basically meaning that no matter how bad things get or how good things get, it'll always regress back to the mean. I was actually talking to my friend about it the other day, and he said he disagreed because sometimes that mean just keeps getting lower. I don't know, I guess it's all relative to how you define the mean. And I also imagine social media turned a lot of people into competition with one another. Competition breeds jealousy, jealousy breeds insecurity, insecurity breeds depression. Especially if you're in your early 20s or late teens, maybe even 30s. I think less of people in their 40s because they didn't grow up with the internet and advanced technology and so forth. If you got social media, you're probably constantly comparing yourself, feeling like you need to do more. Bro, I'm telling you, shit like that will always keep you unhappy. It's because you're desperately trying to prove so much to people who have nothing to do with your life. So many people are trying to prove that they're good looking enough, or pretty enough, or successful enough, or cool enough, whatever it is they're trying to prove. Bro, you don't have to prove anything. I say it a bunch of times, but the only person you should be competing with is the previous version of yourself. Someone else's success or lack thereof has absolutely nothing to do with you or your life. Like, if you see someone doing well and that makes you have a feeling of discomfort, like, that's a bad thing. Well, okay, no, I guess it's not a bad thing. I guess it's natural and a normal human reaction nowadays, but ideally you want to get to a point where you're indifferent. Like, oh, that's great for them. Because that's when nothing can really get to you. You're just focused on you and in your own lane. It's a good place to be mentally. I think also being a money-obsessed generation in the era of social media has had a lot to do with depression as well. The BS politics of the pandemic is what amplified it the most. Listen, there's nothing wrong with chasing money. It's the currency by which our society operates. But the obsessive chase of money is blasted in your face by pop culture. Getting money is the #1 thing people think of when they wake up and the last thing they think of when they sleep. Bro, I cringe so hard when I see people flash jewelry because all that shows is insecurity. That you need this thing to make you feel more whole or more valuable as an individual. Exclusivity value is a real thing. People put value on jewelry because not everyone can have it. People get lost in the chase because of society and they don't even realize what they're chasing when it's too late. And then they just end up getting depressed. Money is important to the extent where it covers your basic needs. That's always going to be my position on it. And it's funny because most people would agree that that night where you got dinner with friends and you were laughing, having a good time, enjoying the night and energy, those feelings from that moment made you happier than any amount of money you've seen enter your bank account, in terms of the feelings you got. Yet people will isolate themselves, sideline their basic human needs for this obsessive chase of money and not even know why they're chasing it so hard when they're completely fine. To what? Climb the social ladder? The social ladder doesn't exist. It's just something you made up in your head. So what if this stranger looks up to you because you got a prestigious position? All you're really searching for is validation and acceptance, but in the wrong place. Just think about how many people work jobs they hate to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. That's probably the perfect summarization of American society in the era of social media, and you wonder why people are depressed. You see, there's this constant struggle between what the world and society tells you to be versus who you tell yourself you are. Some would call it your ego versus your quote-unquote higher self or consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And if you keep listening to what the world tells you you should be and what your ego wants, you're constantly going to chase and buy all these things that the world and society values and not know why you're depressed. You gotta let your own voice in your head, your quote-unquote higher consciousness, be stronger than the voice of society to break this. What you gotta understand is that capitalism works because people are constantly told they are less than, that they need more, that they are not enough, that you won't be happy until XYZ. Social media is the amplifier. People chase illusions because the world tricked them into believing those illusions were real. And listen, I'm no expert, but if you're depressed, you definitely can't just lay in despair. You gotta change up your day, your stimuli in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter what you do, just do something different. Something that deviates from your routine. Let different things and stimuli and thoughts and feelings enter your world. Try to spend some time with people, and if you don't have friends, go write your thoughts and go out anyways. I mean, also exercise, healthy food, sunlight. When you feel better physically, you'll feel better mentally. And also meditation. Find stillness in a world that's constantly moving. You gotta know when to turn it off. Turn off the stimuli. Reset your dopamine levels if you wanna know what peace of mind really is. No internet, no technology, no parties, no concerts, no raves, no hangouts, no alcohol, no sex, no drugs, no work, nothing. Just turn it all off, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes. Find stillness and peace. Practice this. And I mean, listen, it's definitely not professional advice, but these are just things that work for a lot of people. You gotta find an anchor or a light, whatever it may be. Just something that makes you hopeful or happy, even if it's just the slightest. And you gotta hold on to it and don't let that light go out. And for the most part, just think about the times that you're happy or the happiest. And for most people, I'd say like over 95% that involves being with other people. But again, it's not like you can always rely on other people to be happy. That's why everyone should learn how to be by themselves. Being alone and loneliness are two completely different things. Learn how to be alone. It'll help a lot of you guys out, especially if you rely on being around other people just to feel happy. Depression's like dark clouds that come and go. Sometimes it'll last a bit longer, rain a bit harder, but it comes and goes. It'll get better. Or maybe not and things just keep going downhill from here. Anyways, make sure you guys stay well, stay true, and if you guys like the video, leave a like, comment, or sub, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Peace.